this leads me to my next point. When people ask me what kind of things you're working on, if you want to make a difference, you have to be very careful with whom you share your dreams and goals, even your activities. See, because as I said before, not everybody that came with you this far can go with you all the way. As I said before, and paraphrasing from Les Brown, if people don't have a larger vision for themselves, how can they possibly have a larger vision for you? How can they appreciate your journey? Let me ask you this. Do you share your money with just anybody all willy-nilly and free? Somebody just come up to you and say, hey, can I have $500? You should be, everybody in this room should be equally as frugal with your dreams and your goals and your activities. You need to share them with only people who you know will appreciate them. Now, before we were talking about haters. These are people who they tend to be the ones to shoot your dreams out of the sky. These are the ones who people will tell you what they think you are not capable of, even though they have absolutely no experience in what it is you're trying to do. You have no idea how many people, like I said, the first person, well, you ain't professional until you get paid. Oh! The thing is, when you strive to improve yourself, these people, I call them bubble busters. Matter of fact, I wrote a whole chapter about them in my book. We'll unleash the books in a few minutes when I'm done. But I do have copies of my books here. I call them bubble busters. I wrote a whole chapter about them. These are the people, like I said, who shoot down your dreams. They want to bust your bubble. They don't have a larger vision for themselves. They can't possibly have a larger vision for you. See, these are your friends. These are your peers. These are your equals. I mean, the friends that we have...
Or your parents.
This is true. But here's the thing. The people in our circle, we all have something in common. And to some degree, we see each other as equals. Even our parents, because we're in the same family. So we're equal by virtue of our last name. Okay? However, when you strive to do something to improve yourself, to better yourself, and there may be people in your circle who are not so inclined to do this for themselves. These are the people who you're beginning to piss off because you're now violating the sanctity of the comfort zone where you are all nice and warm and cozy. Who are you to be sitting up there trying to do this thing? We're cool right here. So these are the people you have to distance yourself from. In order to make a difference, you got to be powerful. People respond to power. They're either attracted to it or they're repelled by it. As I said before, in case you hadn't noticed, I have a very direct style of communicating. And as I said, my wife has made it her life's mission to try and make me a more tactful person. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But there are people who just know me. And I don't mince words. It is what it is. There are people who will agree with everything I say, and there are people who won't agree with anything I say. You know what? That's okay. Because what was the deal we made in the very beginning? I warned you. There may be some things I say, you're like, I don't know. And that's okay. Like everybody here, well, you can get me. You can find me on Facebook later for those who aren't on my Facebook. But Diana will tell you, Ray will tell you, Livia will tell you. I piss people off on Facebook on, if not a bi-daily, weekly basis.
Oh, me too.
At some point in time, I'm stirring.
That's my job.
I'm stirring the pot at some point in time. You know, but that's okay. You can disagree with me. I'm not going to take it personally. What did I tell you before? Take what fits, discard the rest. That's okay. But the one thing each and every one of you will walk out of here knowing, without a doubt, is that I'm speaking to you coming from a place of honesty and power. Because Speaking, statistics have shown, people fear public speaking more than they fear death.
Elaborate on that. You mean speaking themselves in the public? Yeah, you're right.
There are people who would rather face getting hit by a bus than stand in front of a group of people and speak. So, but like I said, I come from a place of power. I come from a place of honesty. And you know, it's been said that knowledge is power. It's been said that information is power. And I would say to you that this isn't entirely true. See, knowledge by itself, information by itself, is useless. Okay? However, once you apply, we can put a gun right here and walk away from it. That gun is about as dangerous as the bottle of water in the iPad sitting there. The point I'm making is that power comes from use application of that knowledge, of that information. Imagine what kind of world we'd be living in if Alexander Graham Bell or George Washington Carver didn't use their power of invention. Imagine what kind of world we'd be living in if Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King, Desmond Tutu, Nelson Mandela didn't use their powers to get people to believe in equality and bring people closer together. What kind of world would we live in if they didn't use their power? If you want to make a difference, you have to find, discover, cultivate, and use your power. Again, I'm quoting from Zig Ziglar. He says, unless and until you do something with what you have learned, you might as well not have learned it. The person who won't read is no better off than the person who can't. So, I want to talk to you now about discovering, honing, and cultivating your power. And I'm going to share with you a method in which you can do it. I'm going to use the word power as an acronym. The P stands for plan. See, having an idea is not enough. You have to have a goal. You have to have an end game. And how you get to that goal and how you get to that end game, you need to have a plan. How long is it going to take you to do it? What's going to be required of you in terms of time, money, sweat equity? What resources do you have? All of these things you put in your plan. You should write that down. It's very important you write that down. I cannot stress how important it is that you write that down. Okay? I will go so far as to say that an idea, and some of you may have seen this on my Facebook page, an idea that you do not convert into a plan by writing down has the value, the same value, I'll be nice the way I say it, as gas passed in the wind, it smells just as bad. I'll say that again. An idea that you have, that you do not convert into a plan by writing it down, has the same value as gas passed in the wind. It smells just as bad. It was J.C. Penney who said, give me a stock clerk with a goal and I will give you a man who can make history. Give me a man with no goals and I'll give you a stock clerk. On an intro. O in this acronym POWER stands for organize. And this is where you really begin to map out your plan. This is when you put the pieces of the puzzle together. You might not have all the resources you need, but in this stage of the game, you get to determine what you do have, and by determining what you do have, you can learn what you don't have and try figuring out what you need and how you can go about getting it. Let me ask this, how many people raise hands and show their hands all going to go up in the room before? Because we got some type A personalities up in here. How many people have heard of something called the law of attraction? Show of hands. Beautiful. As we all know, the law of attraction states that you attract into your life whatever you think about. Your dominant thoughts will manifest into your life. So we all know that the law of attraction is very real, right? Anybody disbelieve in the law of attraction? We all, until I saw that movie, The Secret, I had been living the law of attraction, just didn't have a name for it. You know, and once I saw The Secret, I was like, oh, that's what it's called. What I always tell people, and I share this with you as well, is if you believe strongly enough in something, you can invoke the law of attraction. And in doing so, and in believing in yourself, organizing your resources, and believing that what your goal is meant to be yours, God, the universe, whatever you deem your higher power to be, will put the people in your life, will put the resources in your life to get you the things that you want, to help you achieve your goals. I'll tell you a quick story. For years, I said I couldn't afford a house, couldn't afford a house, couldn't afford a house, can't afford a house, can't afford a house, don't have a house. All the time I said that, I was in my apartment. But then I read a book, changed my life. I stopped saying I can't, and started asking how can I? See? Then I stopped saying I can't afford a house, and said how can I afford a house? This is why I said I can't. How can I afford a house? There's all these questions in my head. Okay, wait a minute. Oh, you know, I got money over here. I got to get some money from him. This owes me money.
Wait.
A year later, I'm in a house.
Go.
So this leads me to my next point, the W in the POWER acronym.
Sorry, what was the O?
Organize. First one, plan. O, organize. And we'll jump into the W, which stands for wonder. This is the fun part. This is the part where you get to imagine what your life will be like once you've achieved your goal. Everybody do me a favor. Everybody in the room, close your eyes. Picture in your mind how good it'll feel when you go back to wearing the clothes that you wanted to wear if you're not quite where you want to be with your shape and trying to lose weight or what have you. Picture in your mind how good it'll feel to have the man at the dealership hand you the keys to that sports car or that luxury sedan. Picture in your mind what it'll feel like to have a realtor walk up to you and hand you the keys to your dream home. Let me ask you this. What kind of floors does it have to have? Marble floor, hardwood floor? How many acres of land? I see you smiling over there. How many acres of land is it sitting on? Picture in your mind having enough land where your kids can go out and play for hours and they're safe and they're leaving you alone. You could open your eyes. How'd that feel?
Great. Kids gonna leave me alone.
See, this is called visualization. Okay? And it plays a powerful role in the setting of goals and in the achieving of goals. There are people who create, and I know, Kanye, you've done this actively, vision boards. You've done vision boards before, right? Where people get like the bulletin board, the card, what do you call it, the court stuff, the bulletin board stuff. Yeah, and put pictures in there. Pictures of cars, houses, you know, physiques, whatever. Now, me, I'm not the arts and crafts dude. I'm not sitting a bunch of magazines cutting out pictures. That's not me. You just might go ahead of me. Pinterest! That where you go?
Digital vision board.
There's a website, Pinterest.com, where, as she said, they're digital visual boards. You can actually take your own pictures that you have on your computer, you can go on the internet, find pictures of your own, and you can create all kinds of vision boards for yourself to help you wonder what it would be like to achieve your goals, to discover whatever it is in you that's going to help you make a difference. What I also want to say is that wondering what your future will be like, what it'll look like, what it'll feel like, what it'll smell like. Neither. Remember when we started working together, we did a whole vision statement? We talked about where your world would be.
3 pages.
Huh?
3 pages.
3 pages. How close were we to getting to it?
Really extremely close.
And that was only, what, 2 years ago? Alright? So this stuff works, I'm trying to tell you. This stuff works. It's not a paid endorsement.
It certainly is.
The E stands for engage. This is, I would say, by far the most important step in the POWER acronym, if you will. You have to take action. once again, I'm going to go back to my homeboy Confucius, who said, journey of 1,000 miles begins with what? First step. First step towards losing weight, that first push-up. First step towards building a better body, doing them reps on the weights. Yeah. The first step is just taking a walk to the store. You know, but you have to do something. I tell people, you know, hey, if you want to quit smoking, go in your purse, or go in your pocket, take that pack of cigarettes out, throw it away right now. Without taking the last smoke. Let that be your first step. I stand before you today because the first step I took was to have a beer, put it down, empty. At the end of 2012, and never pick up another one since. And I stand before you today, I'm a 25-pound lighter. I told you I love what I do. Let's talk about, for a brief second, what got me here today. About 8 years ago, I made a conscious decision to put my PlayStation down and pick up a book. That was my first action, my first step, my first engagement that got me here. The book that I picked up was Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Haven't read it, I suggest you read it, okay? Because it was that book that pretty much, like I said before, helped me change my mindset from saying I can't afford the house to how can I afford the house to a year later moving into my house. It was that book that showed me the tools that I shared with my wife to encourage her, inspire her, and motivate her to start her business. And thus, my mindset was, if I can get this woman to listen to me and produce results, I can talk to anyone. We have to take action in order to produce results. That's the whole point of this step, this stage. You have to, you know what? If you want to make a difference in your life, you're going to have to avoid people in the gun or butt family. You don't know the gun or butt family? I was gonna do that, but I'm gonna do that, but how many people know people in the gun or butt family?
I have several clients that are like that.
There you go. Well, you need to get their money, but for everybody else, I'm advising you to divorce yourself. I said you need to get their money. But everybody else, if you know people in the gun or butt family, you need to divorce yourself from those people in the gun or butt family because nothing comes after gun or butt except a bunch of stinking things. Zero tolerance for stinking thinking. When stinking thinking, for those who are here, when stinking thinking comes into our heads and starts talking that nonsense, what do? We stand up and we say what?
Shut up.
No, we stand up and we say what?
Shut up.
Shut up. Now, you know good well. Somebody owes you some money, you wouldn't just shut up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let it slide. Hey. Now, while taking some form of action is important, talk about engaging, I would say this last step is equally important. And that is the R, which stands for repeat. Okay, this is for the ladies. Are there not hair conditioner products on the shelves where the instructions are, with the exception of leave-in conditioner, rinse and repeat, right? Because the stuff you're putting in your head, hear me out, I'm preaching now, the stuff you're putting in your head, you put it there, you got to work in it a little bit, you got to take it out, then you got to put it back and work it in some more in order for it to do its job, right? Life works the same way. Works the same way. Listen, who goes, fitness dudes, who goes to the gym and does one push-up?
Trainers.
No, literally. I mean, you gotta stay fit, so literally, who goes and does one push-up? Who does, Do you allow your clients to just do one push-up?
Hell, oh, well, yeah, actually I do.
Not the morbidly obese ones where that one
not at all,
push-up is
not at all.
enough.
That female client that I have, that her goal was to be able to do a man push-up.
Okay, but is she going to stop at just that one?
Oh, I don't know about that. If she can only do one, that's all I want. I want one. We'll move forward after that.
But we'll move forward after that.
We got that far. She couldn't do one.
But you got that far.
Of course.
And if you can, you'll push her to move
Oh,
forward.
no, we will. It's not a can.
I'm not saying so that one was just a milestone.
That's it. That we just broke that.
To start.
Exactly.
So at some point in time, you're going to work her harder, build her upper body strength, and she will be able to do one push-up, then maybe 2 push-ups.
10 to 20.
But if she's doing 10 to 20 push-ups, she's doing what? She's repeating the first push-up, right? Had me scared for a second, but I wasn't going to be able to prove my point. Everybody repeat after me. Success begets success.
Success begets success.
Success begets success.
Success begets success.
How many of you have a job where you just show up for one day? Exactly. Now keep going back to work and you're going to get paid. All right, what you do, I mean, what we do, it's all one big machine. It's all, you know, whatever company, corporation you work for, it's a big machine. You just have to keep putting in that work. You were a teacher, right? Yeah. Adrian. I'm just going to show up one day, hey, I'm Adrian Brooks, I'm a teacher, Christopher Columbus, discovered America. Nah, I'm done.
I wish it worked that way.
So how long is Adrian's teaching career going to be if he shows up to class that way?
One day.
Exactly. Is he going to be successful?
No.
All right. So he has to do what? He has to repeat. Well, he has to teach real stuff. Yeah. Right? So this is what I share with people when I want to help them, you know, kind of discover what it is within them that they can use to make a difference, how they can go about achieving their goal. Don't worry, Nikki, we weren't working together when I came up with this. You ain't listening. I don't want you to think I was paying him. He didn't teach me that when I was paying him. Don't look at this one. You didn't pay me. You got this. So let's review. Plan. Map out what it is you want to do and what will be required of you in being able to do it. Remember, never leave the sight of an important goal. It was Tony Robbins who said, never leave the sight of a goal or an idea without first taking a definitive action towards achieving it. So writing it down could be that first step. It's very important. The organize. Pull your resources together. Wonder. Imagine what your life will be like after you've achieved your objective. Engage. Take action. Do something. And lastly, repeat. Repetition is the mother of all skill. You know, I had a high school teacher who used to say it all the time. Repetition is the mother of all skill. Now, you're going to have to keep doing what you're doing so that you can become proficient in it. That's why you guys are trainers. You still have to, you receive your certifications as trainers, whatever, but you still have, huh?
Not enough.
But you have to continue challenging yourself, pushing yourself, right? We're going to talk about that in a minute, you know. But again, that's all about repetition. You got reps, workout. You got to keep doing reps in order to improve ourselves, right?